Shano. Let me get. Where did that page go? That doesn't matter. I'll just start. Okay. Yeah, something a claim that you think you would make that maybe not everybody agrees with, but you could explain why you think that way.
There's so much things in my head I could possibly think.
What's the one you feel maybe the most confident in?
I would say that there's no right or wrong.
Okay. There is no right or wrong. How confident are you that that's true?
Well, I'm really confident it's true because I feel like most of our thoughts today are based on someone else's opinions. Everything is based on
Okay.
a philosophical level. When you look at systems, everything that's incorporated today, anything that we follow is someone else's idea. So to me, I feel like right or wrong is about perspective, your beliefs, your values.
Okay.
It isn't more so necessarily right or wrong.
Gotcha.
It's
Uh,
this or that more so, but not right or wrong.
yeah, yeah. Let's do on a scale of 1 to 10. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that there is no right or wrong? Would you be able to do that?
I give me a 9.
A 9.
Always leave room for error,
Always leave room for error.
or
Absolutely.
not really error, but improvement.
Okay. Absolutely. Um, so is there anything that you could think of that would make you more confident that this is true?
I do believe it.
Okay.
Um, as to say what is right or wrong, I feel like the only thing that makes me believe it is what works for me.
Okay.
I can't put myself in someone else's shoe to compare what's right or wrong for them versus what's right or wrong for me.
That's a good, okay. Let's do a thought experiment. So let's
Okay.
say you could have the experiences of anybody else that you choose.
Mhm.
Okay, everybody. You can hop your consciousness from other people,
Okay.
and you do that, and you recognize that fundamentally, when it comes down to it, everybody kind of does believe the same things about right or wrong. Would that change your confidence at all?
Probably not.
Okay,
Probably
okay.
not.
Can you think of anything that would lower your confidence in it?
Um, anything that would lower my confidence in it.
Yeah.
Sparing somebody else's feelings. Like it wouldn't really lower my confidence, but I would kind of like ease down on how I say it if it
Okay.
offends somebody else.
Got you. Okay. All right. Got you. So it wouldn't change your confidence, but you might change how you would phrase it
Yeah.
or something like that. Okay. Let's say, do you feel like you could explain? Let's say we had somebody here who does believe that there is right and wrong. Um, do you feel like you could explain why they think that and what their position is?
Um, I wouldn't more so explain it. I would pick their brain. I would
Okay.
question their beliefs. I would question what they believe in, see where their system's at. Because some things you can't just uproot from someone and tell them right or wrong doesn't exist. Some things you can't just. That's their whole life. That's what they grow up on. That's like telling you that
Hmm.
going to church is bad. If going to church is good, I go to church every Sunday. I found a campus church here. I'm a Roman Catholic, but at the end of the day, like my belief still like is still where it's at.
Got you. That's interesting. Okay. You said you're a Roman Catholic.
Hmm.
Um, what questions would you ask this person? I'm curious.
Like, firstly, I'd ask them. Well, phrase the question first on.
Let's say you have somebody here and they say right and wrong does exist.
Mhm.
You said you would pick their brain.
So they said right or wrong does it exist. I'd ask
They
them,
said,
what proof do you have that right or wrong exists?
okay, what proof?
What what's your measurement of this right or wrong?
Oh, okay.
When does why does some instances it's right and some instances wrong? Why isn't it straight across the board? Why is it circumstantial for this and that? I would ask questions like that.
Okay. This question is going to be a little cheap, but I'm going to try it
Go
just to
ahead.
see if it works. Is it right to say that there's no right and wrong?
Like I said, I don't believe in right or wrong. It's
Right,
just
so
this or
it's
that.
okay.
It's
All right.
just my
I thought I
belief.
would try it. I would see if it works. Okay. Um, let's see. Man, this one's difficult. This one's difficult for me. Do you have any questions, David? I'm sorry to. I wouldn't normally do this, but this is an interesting one.
There's nothing that would move you from a 9 to an 8.
Not necessarily unless it's myself. Like I said, I only put myself at those instances for.
Okay.
What if the Pope told you there was right and wrong?
That's where I meant to go, and I just forgot.
What if the Pope tell me that there's right or wrong?
Would that
I would
move you from a
respect what he
9
has
to an
to.
8?
No, I would respect what he has to say. I'd hear him out for sure.
Okay.
And listen, I'm always down to listen, always down to understand, always down to learn. Like, not because I'm not changing my mind about something doesn't mean that I won't have an understanding for the concept. I won't just blatantly just do anything I feel or do anything that's considered wrong or bad or evil.
Yeah.
That's not me, but it's just when you look at things here in the world today, it's just a thought of somebody else. I read like a lot of philosophy books and things
Yeah.
like that. So I definitely seen how their thoughts really impacted us on how we live today, how we shape our world. Even when I just think about math, if you think about math, math is like a universal language that when you think of the people who invented certain formulas, Pythagoras theorem, like you notice like these are the people that are carrying us. We're building on their blocks. Everything that we do is so if they had an incorrect or wrong thing here, then we just kept on. There's no
Okay.
point in it now.
Yeah, it's interesting to me because I feel like I would talk to a lot of Roman Catholics that would say that there's right and wrong.
Of course, do it.
What do you think they're mistaken about?
I don't think they're mistaken. I think it's believing what works for you. Like I said that's at the beginning.
Okay.
That's the first thing I said. Believe what works for you. And to me, who like to get into thought processes like this to really pick things apart and really try to understand things,
Mhm.
it's like it's just something I like to do. I don't like to conform with the world's general way of viewing things. I like to
Gotcha.
go to I like to go the other way.
Gotcha. Gotcha. But that's not necessarily right. It's right to you, but that's not like a definitive, absolute right or wrong. Is that the question? Oh, sorry. Like you wouldn't say that it's right to not conform. You wouldn't say it's wrong to conform.
That's like saying the oppressor and the oppressed.
Mm-hmm.
It's a working balance. You can't have the oppressor without the oppressed. You can't have the oppressed without the oppressor. So some things are
Okay.
just a necessary
Okay.
balance.
Yeah, what is that in sociology? I forget what it's called. Mutual something. Okay. So it's I'm not going to be able to think of it off the top of my head. It's been a while since I've read the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I remember, there being passages up using the word right and wrong, like this is right, this is wrong. Is there a way that you deal with those passages or reconcile it?
So, like I said, I look at it more as like a guide way as to which way to go, not necessarily right or wrong. Because some things, if you do today, it's not like you're gonna drop dead tomorrow. But not saying that you should do it. It's other pre-consequences that probably is gonna follow down that line once you go down a certain road, what's considered wrong.
Okay.
It's something that probably isn't for your best interest, which is why they say, which to me is why they say wrong. Now, if
Okay.
you want a successful life and a life of prosperity, all the good things, all of the things that they say is good or along those upper lines,
Mm-hmm.
then follow the right path. It's that simple. You don't have to. Some things you don't have to like just. I don't think that everything that you have to believe in has to be word for word as to where or how it's written. Your
Okay.
understanding of something can be different, and you still get results. Just like there's more than one way to get the same answer.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I got you there. Um, what if you met God and God said there's definitely right or wrong? Would that change your confidence?
Um, to me, in my understanding, in my relationship with God, I don't feel like God would just say, "Hey, there is right or wrong." I
Right.
feel like there'd be some type of understanding or some type of conceptualization of what these arbitrary words are to us,
Oh, okay.
and He
Gotcha.
would kind of say, "Hey, like, get what you're thinking. You don't go out your way to do nothing, harming nobody, no hurting nobody.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the life you want. It's the life where you see yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself helping folks, charity work, successful in life, wealthy. Like these are the places I see myself in life. There's no right or wrong way to get it necessarily, but it's how do you want to live at the end of the day? What do you
Okay.
want to do? What you want to contribute to? Because you're
Okay.
going to die at the end of the day, so it's how you want your story to be told.
Okay. So you don't think God would say it, but what if God did say it though? It's a hypothetical. Hypothetically, would it change your confidence? I'm not saying that your confidence changes now, but
If
'cause-
God Himself told me that,
mhm.
then I know it'd be absolute.
Okay. So then you'd be 10 on the other end at that point. If God told would that put you at 10? I guess would you be would you be you're at a 9 right now. Would you be at a 10 if God said there is no right or wrong? Would you be an absolute at that point?
Yeah, because God, my definition of God is the absolute. It's
Okay. So then it's true the reverse. If he said there is right or wrong, then you would be at a 10 on that. You would say, okay, then there must be right or wrong because God said it.
I'd say yeah, because if God said it, and when we visualize what God is and understand God, I feel like God is the undefined way of truth. It's what can't be go against. It's that solid line of green. It's like gravity. If you throw something up, it's going to come down. There's just some things you can't escape, and I think that's God.
Okay.
So if God Himself was to tell me, "Hey, there's no right or wrong," that's me somehow being able to visualize the truth or some type of law that's bounded to happen.
Got you. Um, okay. Okay. This is the final question that I have. Well, I have two more, but uh, is it is there a relationship between this and truth or no relationship? There is no right or wrong. Do you think that there's truth?
There's no right or wrong. There's truth.
Yeah, like in terms of knowledge.
I think there is truth.
Okay. Okay.
I
Gotcha.
think there is an answer. Like I said, it's different ways to get it. It ain't really a right or wrong. It's just which this or that.
Yeah. Okay. So do you have any questions for me? That's my final question then.
I want to know, like, on your podcast, like, what do you normally talk about? Because I love your questions already and, like, how you
Yeah.
think. So,
We talk about anything and everything.
mhm.
The organization that we work for, they did start off on something different, but we don't, necessarily like that. We just like hearing people's beliefs and thinking about why they believe them, and to try to ask critical questions and figure out what their confidence is and if there's anything that would change their confidence and ultimately to try to cause reflection. That's the point. Yeah, it's just like how do we get people to reflect on their beliefs and
Mm,
understand themselves and their beliefs on a deeper level. And if it's appropriate, sometimes people change their mind, and we think that's okay too.
yeah,
So that's we don't really have a goal apart from that, just to cause reflection and critical thinking. Yep.
I like that.
Yeah.
And most of my views have nothing to do with, like, my religion, denomination, or anything like that. This is just me coming about in the world,
Yeah.
trying to understand the world for myself, not from
That's the
anyone else's
interesting
perspective.
part to me. Yeah, the interesting part is that you're Roman Catholic, but you don't think there's right and wrong. That's, I think, pretty unique.
And like I said, it's not that I don't. It's so hard to navigate society and what I say, where it tends to offend people.
Hmm.
My goal would never be to offend somebody.
Yeah.
So to me, in my heart, I know I'm a good person. I ain't saying I'm a perfect person, but I'm a good person. I'm always do my best at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Always try to follow those guidelines of morality. This is why I have such a strong, well, I had a foundation in the Catholic Church, and I feel like that's definitely what made me to be the person that I am in terms of instilling those values. Aside from my family, folks like that, societies, communities, different organizations I'm a part of, charity work, group organizations, just those things that built me, but not because that's what I was introduced to means that's the way I will forever go or so. I
Gotcha.
try to look at both sides, look at it from every angle.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm the same way. Yeah. And people I think the community tend to be the same way as well. Yeah. I think that's really important. Yeah, to do that. And that's probably part of the reason you got to the position you're at, right? Talking to people, and
Hmm.
everybody kind of has their own versions of right or wrong.
Hmm.
There doesn't seem to be a good way to reconcile it. So, maybe there is no right or wrong.
Not even that. I just think it's like I said, it's what your belief system, your faith,
Hmm.
Whatever is your God that controls you.
Gotcha.
Whatever is your God that controls you. That views how you see your life. Now, if you believe there is no God and there's nothing that controls you, then that would dictate to your character. You're
Okay.
going to be
Yeah.
uncontrolled. You're going to be untamed. You're going to be out here just doing anything you please without any care in the world for anyone else. Now, I'm not saying that the person wouldn't have any other access to those morals or values to be a caring person if they don't have a God, but like I said, what is your God? God doesn't necessarily be a figure in the sky or some mystical thing. Whatever you serve, whatever you do, those are your gods daily.
Okay. All right. Anything else, or you good?
I mean, I've got like
Okay.
100 questions, but
Yeah,
well,
because
I
I
don't
knew
want
that
to
you would
keep
like
you.
this topic, so that's the
Yeah, I
only
don't want to
reason
keep
I.
you guys.
Yeah,
It's been a pleasure.
How often you guys come here?
We don't. I teach here.
Okay.
Yeah, but he travels around the U.S. and like does this, and I used to do it, but I'm a teacher. I'm so busy that I don't have find the time usually. But he came into town, so I was like, yeah, we're gonna do it. Yeah,
It's nice to meet you, David.
Yeah, you as well.
yeah. Nice to meet you, Shano.
Nice to meet you too. What do you teach?
English.
English?
Yep. Argumentation, research, so kind of in line with that
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Like talking to people about their beliefs and argumentation and all that.
Let me also get your YouTube channel too.
Yeah.
David's on.
Yeah, mine's an honest ape. Is what mine is.
An honest ape.
An honest ape, APE.
Changed it, huh?
Yeah, it used to be what's your argument.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about more things than just that, so it seemed appropriate.
Yeah, cool.
It's on YouTube.
I hope I find it. I think I searched it right.
Yeah, let me see.
Honest ape. Yep.
Yep, that's it.
All right. Nice talking to y'all.
Nice to meet you, Shano.
Thanks for stopping.
Yeah, I think you're both in graduate school right now, or
Yep. Both in
what are you
graduate.
getting?
Cybersecurity, master's in cybersecurity.
Oh, cybersecurity. Nice. Okay. I wish I
So-
was smart enough for that.
Till I get to the AI goal, and
Oh yeah.
what else I want to do? AI, cybersecurity, robotics.
Nice. Yeah, if I go back in time, that's what I'd be doing.
Let's
Don't do it. I'm saving you
No,
now.
don't do
I'm
it.
saving you right now. Don't
I'm
do
an
it.
English teacher, man. It can't get much worse than that.
Right. That's right point. Good point.
Is it wrong
Man.
is it wrong to disobey God?
Oh, okay. See, that's why I asked you. You should have asked it.
Well, that was one of the 100 questions I still had.
Oh, okay.
Or how does one find out what God says?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's also a good question. Yeah, see, that one was there were so many things, but my brain,
Great.
I think he was just throwing me for a loop because he's Roman Catholic and he doesn't think there's right and wrong. I've talked to him about like what is the Bible talks about right and wrong. How do you reconcile that? You meet God and God says that there's a right and wrong, and it was just, it
Not typical.
yeah, it wasn't going hardly anywhere. So it's like I don't know if there are questions that I could ask that would really cause you to reflect, because my guess is I hope I don't strawman here, but I think if you ask that, he might say that, well, God doesn't believe that there's, or what God tells people to do is different for everybody. So there is no right and wrong in the sense that God can kind of tell you to do anything.
But there is truth.
But there is truth. Yeah. So I think he was mostly talking about morality.
Yeah,
Or,
for sure.
is it wrong to disobey God? That probably still would have been a good question. You should have thrown it in there. I think that would have been it.
Well, maybe he'll watch.
Yeah.
Or
Maybe he'll watch and
answer
answer.
in the comments.
Yeah, that's a good question. Is it wrong to disobey God?
But on more of a fundamental level, because one thing that would change his confidence,
Mhm.
you guys figured out, is if God told him. He would either raise or lower based on
Yes.
hearing it from God. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, how does somebody confirm that what they're hearing from God is from God?
Yeah, it's from actually.
But
from
that
God.
would have that's a whole other conversation, I think.
I just couldn't. My brain couldn't come up with it. Yeah, is it wrong to is it wrong to disobey God would have been the interesting thing to hear him talk about, because it's hard for me to think of what he would have said. Is it wrong to disobey God?
Because from my understanding, the Pope
Yeah.
is what he says is basically from God.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and then you saw how he answered that though.
Right.
But
He's like,
he
I
obviously
would
doesn't view the
listen, I would
Pope as
respect him.
God. Yeah. Yeah. Or yeah, that's probably what he would have said. Is like, for some it is, for some it isn't. That seemed to just
A
be
more
the
relative way of
a relative moral, framework. Yeah. Yeah, which is interesting because I think fundamentally we agree. Subjectively, like I still say that there's right and wrong. I don't think that there's a way for us to truly figure out what's right and wrong, like in science, but
yeah.
I would still say, if you hold my feet to the flames, I'm gonna say like, beating up an innocent person is pretty much wrong,
Yeah. Yeah.
something like that. But
It may have been interesting to go to like, is there correct and incorrect?
is there correct and incorrect? Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
take it out of the morality and put
Well,
it
I asked him
into
if there was truth, and he
right.
said yes. So there
Right.
is truth, there is knowledge. So I think he's just talking about morality.
Yeah, for sure.
Correct or incorrect, I think would be, and I could have asked more, but yeah, I was getting to. I guess it was just a matter of time because
Yeah.
it was like, because when he started talking about math, and he was like, "There's multiple answers." I wanted to ask him like, but there are still wrong answers in math, right? Or do you think that there are wrong answers in math?
Right. And that's more incorrect, correct,
Right.
rather than
Right
moral,
or wrong.
immoral.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. That would have been another great question. Would have been, if this were true or not true, how would that change how you like navigate the world?
Yeah.
Or how would the world be different if it was true?
If you found out that there was right and wrong, how would that change the way you live your life and treat people?
Yeah. I feel like SD is like a sport, and that was like the Super Bowl, and I fumbled the ball.
No, I thought he did great. Like, he seemed to be reflecting, and
Yeah.
there were a couple of times where you could maybe, just by the look at his face, almost like walking back and then trying to maybe explain it a little bit more accurately
Yeah.
to his own standard. But who knows? No, I don't think that you fumbled at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I don't know. Maybe there's just an interception or something.
Yeah, we can watch it back.
Yeah. 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 There was definitely more there. There's definitely more there to explore. But
It'd be great if you ran into him again
yeah.
and maybe continued this in some of those other ways, or
Yeah.
something else maybe.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Or that would be cool. Yeah, I mean, people seem to like that these types of things happen on campus, but that's just a busy world we live in.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Anything else you want to say about that one? Might be time to.
We didn't talk about the first one. Yeah, it is time to
that's
pack
right.
up. Yeah.
The first one, yeah, with Trey.
Yeah. You can love more than one person. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was interesting. That one seemed to be really personal for him.
Yeah.
Which it is, I've thought about that before. And yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason why not. Apart from just,
He said fully.
yeah, he said fully too.
Like 100%
Yeah.
and 100%.
Yeah. I guess maybe if I could think of a question that I might have asked. I don't really know a question I would have asked, but to me, my thoughts on this, having been in so many relationships, time is always a thing. Like, my question is always just like, how do you get the time to love more than one person is more of an interesting question to me.
Oh, how do you maintain it?
Yeah, how do you it's hard enough maintaining just the one. How do you maintain multiple is really,
Yeah. And if does it work the other way? Like, do you allow the people you love to love
Oh yeah,
someone else fully?
that would have been a good question to ask. Yeah,
Like, does it work in reverse?
yeah, to see if it's the same there.
Because he said females
Yeah,
at the beginning. He was like, you you can love more than one female,
yeah.
and so that kind of made me think, well, okay, why did he use that term? Does
He
it
used
mean
that.
that does that mean that it doesn't work the other way?
I think that was based off of something I asked because he started getting anecdotal.
Okay,
So I think that's why he ended up saying that because he started to think about his personal thing.
right, right.
But I mean, yeah, we could have asked him that, and then he would have been like, "No, just males or something." It's like, hmm. So, but there's a question there about like, there's a lot with any individual. There's so many emotions to handle, so many responsibilities. How do you get the time to do all those things with multiple people? How complex do you think humans are? And how do you overcome those in a relationship? And then how do you do that with two people now?
I don't remember if you asked what the argument, the best argument against that.
I did.
You did? Do you remember what he said?
um
Like if Mo
I think
said,
I wrote it down.
no, you can't love more than one person fully, what would be her reason?
Well, one of the things he said was just other people's experiences. Like if you have the experience of like feeling complete or being with another person and feeling complete, or oh, that's what he said the first time was that, he thinks that they would start to talk about the stories of love that they're familiar with, like because we have these things kind of, uh, it's kind of propagandized maybe, like in movies and these things. It's just one man and woman, or it's two people. So he thinks that they would like appeal to those things.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, yeah, I think that's pretty much what he was getting at there.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, it's like the time thing. Yeah, how hard is it? Take some time to think about how hard it is to manage a relationship. Now double it, and now what do you, or you know, it's also you can get too personal, but it seems to be like this has been a problem in his relationships,
Right.
and so it's just like okay, but if it's been a problem, if it seems like you're having the problem in one relationship, how does that change when you create a new one? How does the problems of your first relationship change when you start a new one with somebody else
Right.
while in the original one? Because to me, it would seem like it would get worse, but maybe that's not the case. Maybe, yeah.
Hard to tell.
Yeah,